Alright guys, in this section we're going to be talking about holding angles. In this case we're going to be talking about the structure or dichotomy of any angle, and the reason for that is to gain greater understanding and understand how to hold angles on any map, any location. Our example here is B main on cache, right? Let's just hold it like this for no reason now. We're just going to talk about the possibilities and the structure of an angle. So what can our opponent do here? There's three possibilities. They can peek under our crosshair, which is with respect to the corner we're holding. This is the corner we're holding, right? If we're holding it like this, anything under is anything to the left, right? In between the corner and where our crosshair currently is located is what is under. They can also peek into our crosshair, which is literally into us. We can shoot and they'll die, right? Or they can peek past us, which in this case is anything to the right. It's anything located in between our crosshair and all the other space that the corner has, excluding under. Alright, now that we've understood that, there's also two other things an opponent can do. They can jump past us, in which case we have to flick to kill them, but they can't shoot us, so, you know, whatever. It just means you have to flick. Whatever, right? Not really necessary to talk about. And the other possibility is they can crouch, which is necessary to talk about. If your crosshair is too high, you won't be able to kill a crouching player. You may be able to kill a standing player, but you won't be able to kill a crouching one. It's possible, and very easy in fact, to learn the height at which you can kill a crouching player and a standing player. Right? You can find it out for any angle. It changes depending on the distance and your elevation, but whatever, right? You just need to know you want to be able to kill any player crouching or standing. Easy enough to understand, alright? Now, the last topic we'll cover is a buffer. What is a buffer? Whenever we're holding a corner, if there is cover or something restricting us from seeing the space that is provided by that corner, that is cover, alright? Now, what a buffer is the space in between that cover and the corner, right? Like we talked about before, under is anything in the space in between the corner and a crosshair. In this case, a buffer is anything in between the corner and the cover. We can change that manually by, you know, pressing W and A and S and D. Pretty easy, right? So we need a buffer because if we are too far back and we're not giving ourselves enough of one, a player can run past our crosshair and we won't be able to shoot him because, well, you know, there's a fucking wall in the way, bro. Like, come on, motherfucker. Right? So we need to give ourselves that buffer. Now, this buffer is unnecessary, completely unnecessary, if we are close to the cover or right next to it. The reason is we can immediately get the cover out of our vision by, well, getting it out of our vision, pressing A in this case, right? Going to the left. If I'm holding it as tight as possible, I can still kill anyone who runs past by peeking, by pressing A and shooting them. They can't actually run to sunroom before I can peek around the corner. Now, if I'm holding it super tight here, because the cover is far away, it's impossible for me to actually get to sunroom. You see how long that took? It takes fucking forever, right? So basically, give yourself a large buffer if you're far away. Give yourself no buffer at all if you're close to the corner, right? You can, for comfort's sake, give yourself a buffer so you don't have to actually press A and then shoot. But when you do give yourself that no buffer thing, you can crouch slide and be perfectly 100% accurate while shooting with the AWP. While crouching and scoped in with the AWP, you are 100% accurate. You see how it's at the exact same height? And you see how my crosshair is black, right? It's not faded out. It's not gray, right? Now that we know that, we can hold angles better by doing a number of things. The first of all is giving ourselves a proper buffer if we need one, and the second is maximizing the chances for an opponent to peek into our crosshair and making it easy for ourselves to kill a crouching player and a player running past our crosshair. For this example specifically on cache, the proper way to hold the angle is, of course, well, first of all, you have to run to the angle as quickly as possible via an optimized route. In this case, for this one, I'll give you a little hint. You want to hug all the walls, right? Do it as quickly as possible. And right when you get flush with this, you want to pull out your AWP. That's just an example, right? And in this case, since we're far away from our cover, we give ourselves that buffer. We aim at a height in which we can kill a crouching or standing player, which is here. And because we're holding it tight to the corner, it is extremely likely that an opponent peeks into us because this is a known angle. And it is also likely that an opponent will peek past us, but that's okay because we've eliminated the third possibility of a player peeking under us. So this is the optimal way to hold this corner. Now, it's only optimal if an opponent doesn't fucking pre-fire you or jiggle peek you, right? But that being thrown out the window, it's the best way. Okay? Now that changes if you've played it a billion times and the opponent expects it. But it is the proper way to hold it. Logically, we've made it the best. Alright? Now that we've talked about that for long and motherfucking enough, let's get on to the next topic, which is knowing every angle, which is going to be a lot shorter. The rest of this video is going to be a lot shorter. Okay? Thanks. Alright guys, for this part we're going to be talking about knowing every angle. This means on all the competitive maps. I'm talking to competitive players here. Of course, if you play other maps for fun, it'd be nice to know those angles, but it's not as important because you're not playing it competitively. This is garnered for competitive players, right? That's probably why you're watching this. Anyways, talking about the topic itself, knowing every angle. Every map has its own set of angles. As an AWPer, you need to know those because the more you know, the more you can pick and the more you can not die, right? If I don't know that a guy from jungle can peek me from here and see me in palace, I will get killed by him. Some time will happen where I'm walking with my knife out saying, alright, I'm going to peek the guy's stairs, and I get killed from the crack. Okay? You also need to understand when there are off angles. Okay? In this case, this guy can watch palace from here or anywhere in between right here and this wall. Okay? He can also even peek it from anywhere between where I'm standing right now and all the way to the left. Okay? And lastly, he can peek it from stairs. Stairs is a known angle, but we want to know the off angles too. Okay? Now, for knowing angles, we also want to know what we expose ourselves to. When I peek window, just like this, not only do I want to have perfect crosshair placement, but I want to know what else I'm exposing myself to. Exposing myself to lower mid and connector. Right? Having that knowledge will better your ability to make decisions regarding what you peek and how you peek it. Alright, let's go on to the next topic, which is trigger discipline. Alright, for our third topic, this is going to be short. We want to understand what trigger discipline is for an AWPer, and we need to have it. Let's give our first example for the first part of this topic is getting jiggle peeked. Okay? If you're in a common spot, it's very common for a player to jiggle peek, right? Whether it's an AWPer or not, whether he has a rifle, a pistol, whatever. It's very likely that he may try to jiggle peek you and get you to shoot so that way he can get past you, right? As an example, if I'm playing right here and an opposing AWP player, or rather just an opposing player, maybe with his pistol or knife out, jiggles the corner and I shoot, I want to get to cover, obviously, so I won't get killed. But then, if I want to peek out again, it's possible that a player could have taken over that angle. Right? If an AWPer gets posted up here because I shot to a jiggle peeker, I can now no longer peek this angle without using a grenade or something like that, or having a teammate nade him for me, some shit like that, right? I removed an advantage for myself. Now, that doesn't mean you should never shoot at a jiggle peeker. It just means you need to understand what risks you're taking by having trigger discipline. The second aspect of trigger discipline is not shooting people immediately when you have plenty of time to. Let's take an example here. I'm pushing through connector. There's a CT at tri-box. Let's say I peek him and I see that he's not looking at me, right? I don't need to freak out and immediately just say, oh shit, let me try to flick at him, Like, bro, what you doing? You think you're Kenny S? Get out of here, bro. You ain't no Kenny. You ain't no Jedi. You ain't no Ska. Get that out of here, right? What you can do instead is have trigger discipline. You peek up here and you say, oh, he's not peeking at me. You put your crosshair on him, make sure, and then click. You don't try to do no quick scope, no scope nonsense bullshit. Okay, keep that out of vocabulary and you'll play a lot better. Let's get on to the next topic, which is actually quite useful, and it's called counter strafing. Alright guys, counter strafing. What is counter strafing? I have another video talking about it, but basically, counter strafing is canceling out your momentum by pressing the opposite direction while running. If I'm running to the right, using D, I press A to stop moving and move to the left. Let's show by doing this. Right now I'm going to let go of A, and you see I do stop, but it takes a while. When I press A quickly, I immediately stop moving. I cancel out my momentum by pressing the other directional button. Now, this allows you to stop faster and shoot people earlier. Right? And another thing you also need to understand is that you can shoot people while running. You just have to be moving very slowly. When I just start moving, right, if I tap A and then immediately shoot, it'll be just about as accurate as if I was standing still. Okay? That means we can be holding A, going to the left, and we can immediately press D, stop and shoot, and it'll be perfectly accurate. Demonstrating it like this. Okay? Just by tapping some heads. Okay? So you can do this with a rifle. You can do this with an AWP too. Okay? That's what this video is about. Let's get that AWP, and let's show you guys what I'm talking about. If I'm running like this, I can stop and I can shoot, and it'll be perfectly accurate. Right? Okay? Easy to understand, hard to master. The way to master it is do it whether you're rifling or opping. You want to practice both so you know how to do both. Okay, you want to practice by shooting against walls, doing this. Okay, normally if I'm running, it's all over the place, right? It's not accurate. As you can see, it's not in a straight line. But if I practice my counter strafing, the further I get away, the easier it is to tell whether I did it right. It'll be on that same line with the rest of your shots. Okay, you want to practice this with opping as well. Let's get on to the last and final topic, which is practicing your routes. Alright guys, what we're going to be talking about now is running routes. What I'm doing right now is I'm running the window, doing my strafe jump, knifing out the window, right here, I'm jumping and I'm getting up on this, and then I'm strafing. And then I'm scoping in, rather, right? Now, obviously, I didn't do that as fast as possible because I was talking to you guys, but you want to make sure you can do it as fast as possible. This starts by knowing your spawns, okay? If you have a bad spawn for window, over here, don't go to window. Or rather, don't try to think you can get there before your opponent. It's okay to still go to window. You just need to know that you're late. Maybe instead, you throw a flash out first, and then you peek it. Whatever you're doing, you need to understand your spawns first. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is actually practice your routes, right? Another little example of a route is jumping on the catwalk, okay? Doing this off of spawn is a great way to catch your opponent off guard, right? Something Kenny S did in a match a long-ass time ago, and that's why I learned it, okay? I may not hit it this time, but, oh, yeah, I missed it. But getting up on cat like that, that's so fucking useful, man. And look how flashy it is, bro. Like, come on, you want to know that. Anyways, that's enough for this part of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like or comment if you think it was bad. Anything you can do to tell me how to make a better one next time, I really do appreciate. There's a lot of people giving me great positive feedback. All right. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And thanks for watching. It's been Anarchy here. See you guys next time. Ciao.